This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be talking about the Aer Go Sling 2, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you hit subscribe so we can continue making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So the exterior material on this sling is 210D Cordura crinkle nylon, and we actually see this on most of Aer's new Go offerings, and it's just very soft, but yet it's also very durable and has pretty good water resistance as well. So I didn't actually get caught in the rain with this sling, but with the Go bag that I also tested and am testing, I got caught in the rain, and it really did a good job at keeping the water out of the bag, and this is the same material. And just very happy with this material overall, and I think it looks very professional. And we have a little Hypalon feeling tab there that has the Aer logo and then San Francisco, California on the other side, which is a nice little hidden tag because you can't really see it unless you're looking for it, which I dig. We have a YKK zipper that runs around the exterior of this pack, and for the most part it operates pretty well, but if you are trying to do it like you just saw there, like off the cuff, sort of like one-handed, like if you're wearing it and go to do it one-handed, it can get stuck on the corners. And I actually didn't really have an issue with that, but we like to hand the gear around to different team members, and Tom noticed that when he was wearing it, and then when I tried to do it as well, I noticed the same thing. So depending on how you operate your zippers, you may have it get stuck occasionally, but it doesn't get stuck, you just apply a little more pressure and it continues on its way. These zipper pulls here are kind of an Aer trademark Hypalon. They're very, very comfortable to grab onto, and they have some nice grip to them. And even if they do get a little bit wet, you can still grab onto them. So very happy with these zipper pulls. Moving on to the back a little bit here, we have a Duraflex adjuster on this side to adjust the strap to get it exactly how you want it. And this is something that I noticed that does happen occasionally when you aren't wearing it, is the strap will kind of start pulling through like that, which is a little annoying, but you can kind of just yank on it to bring it back. And this buckle, where it was kind of having the little hang up, is a Woojin magnetic buckle. And no issues with it coming off. I kind of messed with it there. You can see that it did come off a little bit there, but that was when I actually put pressure on that. So I haven't had any issues with it coming off while I was wearing it. I know some people are wary of these, but no real issues to report. And the last real thing on the exterior here is this little loop, which is nice because you can hang it on, you know, like it's like a little post in your hotel room or on the back of your door, or you could attach a carabiner to that. It's just a nice way to attach this to other things, especially given its small size. You can attach it to something larger. So looking at the back side here, we first will look at the strap. And as you can see, this is a really thin strap, especially you can see, compared to my hand and my fingers, it's just really, really thin, and there isn't any padding or aeration, which normally I like to see even on slings. But this sling is so small that it really didn't bother me that there wasn't any padding or aeration, and it was so thin. Like, even if you were to stuff this with like the heaviest stuff you would come up with, like it's just not very big. I believe it comes in at 0.8 liters. So you really just can't fit that much gear inside here to make this strap annoy you. And something that I do like is that there isn't like any extra strap length to bother you, because it's all self-contained here, and then you do have a strap keeper to keep this middle part together should you have the extra strap. So I really like the way this strap is designed, and it's very comfortable to wear. If you do completely pack this out and you're wearing a thinner shirt or a tank top or something like that, you may feel a little bit of rubbing, but it's not really uncomfortable. You just notice it. And that's what I like about Aer in general, is they're very thoughtful with their design. So a lot of times if there is something that bothers you, it's really like, it doesn't like hurt you, it's just like, oh, that's there. And I dig that. It's very thoughtful design. But moving to the back panel here, there isn't really any back panel to speak of. There's no mesh, there's no padding. But again, for a sling of this size, it's really not an issue, and didn't even really notice it. And anything you put in the back side of the main compartment kind of acts as a back panel. Like I have my phone there right now, as you can kind of see, and you do feel that. So this is me wearing it a little bit closer to my chest, a little bit tighter. There is quite a bit of strap to work with, so you can wear it lower, so I'll show you that in just a moment. But as you can see, it kind of conforms to your body pretty nicely because it is so small. But sometimes if you have really flat items inside, it just kind of feels to me, I don't know how to explain it other than like taggy, like a tag on a shirt that just kind of wants to like go like that. So if you've noticed that on slings before, maybe you'll notice that on this one as well. But overall, I do think that it is very comfortable. So now, as you can see, I'm wearing it a lot lower, and this isn't as low as it will go. This is just kind of like the more crossbody style that I wore it for part of my time while testing. And this is actually very comfortable too. It's just not really my style, especially because I like to cycle a lot. It kind of can move more, but I do like the ability to just kind of swing it over to my backside and it's out of the way. Like if you're moving quickly or if you do get on a bike or something like that. But it's very comfortable, and something to note is the strap is not removable. It's obviously attached, as you can see, but just something that I think is important to note. So moving into the main and only compartment here, we've got the YKK zipper and the Hypalon tab, as I mentioned earlier. And then we do have a fair bit of organization in here, especially for such a small sling, as I said, 0.8 liters. So I'll pull out my sunglasses here just so you can see a little bit better some of the organization. So on this front side here, we have these two elastic pockets that have an elastic topper and then a stretchy mesh on the inside. So whatever you put in there, like you put a larger object in there, it can kind of contain it, but there isn't a topper on the top. So if you put a smaller item in there, in theory, it can bounce out. So I've got my wallet in there right now. That doesn't actually really make the mesh do any work, but if you have a larger wallet or just something larger, like even, I always feel like I use this example, but if you were to throw an apple in there, it would hold it and it wouldn't go anywhere, so your apple wouldn't get bruised or whatever. But I really do like those two pockets. A lot of times you'll see small slings like this won't have any organization on that side. They'll just have a back panel there or a back liner there. So I do like the addition of these just because it does give you a space to lock down smaller items somewhere else other than on the back side there. But moving to that back side there, we do have this small little pocket here on like a liner pocket, and I just have my phone in there. It's a good spot for a phone or a passport or something like that. You can't fit a Kindle in there. We tried to fit one inside and you can't, but if you did have like a larger phone or a really small tablet, you might be able to slide that in there, but it is a pretty small pocket and there really isn't any padding. So on the Aer Go pack, I mentioned that with the laptop compartment that there was a little bit of back padding because of the mesh on the back, but there is no mesh on the back of this. So whatever you put in there, there really isn't any protection from the outside, or on the inside here, there's no padding either. So just whatever you put in there, use caution depending on if there's no case on your phone or whatever. But on top of that liner pocket, we have a YKK zipper and a little compartment here. So you can really lock stuff down now, which I like because, as I said earlier, with these elastic pockets, those don't lock items down. They hold them in pretty tight if they're larger, but there's no topper on it, so things can come out. But with this zippered pocket, it's not coming out no matter what you put in there. So I often would put little dongles and stuff like that in here, or you could put a like phone charger, or even just like more secure documents, like if you want to, or not documents, like an SD card or something like that, you could throw that in there and it's locked down and it's not going anywhere. I really wanted to, put my phone in there, and with the case on there, I just can't get it closed. If I take the case off, it does just barely fit. But that's a little bit of a bummer to me, but that's just because I have a kind of a bigger case on there. If I don't have the case, it fits on there. That's an iPhone 11, just a regular one. If you have a Pro Max or one of the bigger phones, it's not going to fit in there even without the case. So that's important to note if you do like a little bit more security for your phone. And a passport does not fit inside this zippered compartment either. I tried to slot that in there just because I like keeping my passport with me when I'm traveling, just to have it with me just in case, and I wanted to put it in the zippered compartment and it didn't fit. And I was a little bit bummed initially, but then it does fit really nicely behind this back wall, and that works just as well for me. No issues carrying it there. But as I said, there is quite a bit of organization. Then you do have this main area here where I did have my sunglasses. You can fit some larger items in there, like I have my Bluetooth speaker, and that fits in there nicely. Well, not really nicely, it monopolizes a lot of space, but it does fit in there. So you can fit larger items inside this sling, even though it does just have that 0.8 liter capacity. But zipping it up again, one of the main perks of this thing is it is really small. Flattened out, it's a very, very small sling, and similar to most of the Go series, you're meant to take this with you. So if you really like to keep things ultralight, but you can't compromise on a sling, this is a good one for you because you can just lay it flat in between your stuff inside your bag. You can even roll it up to make it like, that's roughly the size of a pop can, a little bit taller, skinnier. Maybe one of those cans they have in Europe. It's just very, very small. And what I liked to do was throw the strap inside. You can't zip it just because of where the zippers are located, but you can still roll it up. And then you've got a very, compact sling that you can slide anywhere. And then if you needed to, you can lay it flat as well. Just can fit it anywhere, and that's really awesome. So there you have it, the Aer Go Sling 2. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.